Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Omni viewer, and I know it's a little bit late coming, but I finally got my hands on some of those Jakks Pacific Godzilla King of the Monsters figures. Reason it took so long? Well, the Walmarts I live near, and I happen to live in between two of them, did not carry these right away, so had to get them sent from somewhere else. Big shout out to the uncle who sent these to me, thank you very much. And now, enough about that, let's actually see how these figures go. As you can see, what I've got here are the 6-inch figures, although that's just 6 inches tall. As far as width goes, you can see they are much bigger, but we'll get to that later. These are, of course, Rodan and Ghidorah. And, well, this is the packaging they come in. Haven't taken them out of it yet. But, packaging-wise, it's pretty standard. Nice box, fully protects them. Each box is pretty much the same. There's very little difference. And on the backs, there is some little blurb of information about them. Although unlike when Jakks Pacific released that giant-sized Godzilla, these ones don't tell us too much. For Rodan it says, Rodan, an ancient reptilian firebird of prey, rising from the molten lava of a volcano to conquer the sky as a furious firestorm of rage. Fly Rodan into battle against Godzilla and unleash the full power of his volcanic... Fly Rodan into battle against Godzilla and unleash the full power of this volcanic monster. Don't know why I had a hard time reading that. For Ghidorah, it says King Ghidorah, so apparently they're using the name King Ghidorah. We'll see if that applies to the movie later. King Ghidorah is the massive dragon-like destroyer with 3 heads, capable of 3 times the destruction. Become the largest super species the world has ever seen as you fly into battle as a living lightning storm to decide once and for all who is the king of the monsters. And interestingly enough, they are both labeled as articulating figures, meaning they are very articulate, as opposed to being articulated, which I think is what they meant. How this got on both boxes, I don't know, but I don't know, maybe they are using that term right. I don't think they are. But anyway, I'm gonna get these out of the boxes, and we'll see how they hold up as actual figures. Okay, we will start with Rodan, and just so you get an idea of how big he is, this should help. This is the NECA 6-inch tall Godzilla made for the 2014 film. So that's how big he is. Not sure if this is actually in scale to how they appear in the movie or not, but, well, it doesn't really matter either way. So, Rodan here has, looks like 5 points of articulation. Actually, just 4. His wings at a rather odd place, admittedly, and both legs. It looked like his head might be able to turn. Oh, actually it does, 5 points. He can turn it left and right, can presumably go 360 degrees. And as you can see, comes with these destructible buildings. Not much detail to them right here, but they come apart in 3 pieces like that. And they're interesting little display. And right here, the teeny tiny little Osprey vehicle, which doesn't have much detail to it at all, but then again, how could you get that much detail on something this small? I mean, look at it. You see? That is small. However, speaking of detail, this is where Rodan really excels, because just look at that. I mean, Jakks Pacific isn't exactly known for making high detail figures, not like the NECA figure we just saw or SH Monster Arts or any of them, but Rodan, they really outdid themselves here. Pretty much from every angle he looks great, and he's not just a solid color. He's mostly red, but as you can see, there's a lot of black highlighting on every single detail. From the wrinkling on his wings, to the armor on his torso, the bottoms of his feet, and also it's hard to see, but he does have pupils in his eyes. That's a very nice little touch. I didn't necessarily... Bumped the mic, sorry about that. Didn't necessarily know if he would have pupils in his eyes or not. And... let's see. He also has pretty good balance, too. You can pose his legs so he can stand. I was actually wondering about that. In the package, I wasn't sure he'd actually be able to stand on his own. But look, move the buildings aside. He stands just fine. Very good balance. Wings can move all the way forward like that, or all the way back like that. You can even pose them like this, or this for that cool spiral move he does in the trailer. And, yeah. Gotta say, Rodan looks really good. Not bad figure at all, gotta say. So, that's how he looks. Next we'll move on to Ghidorah. And here is the three-headed destroyer himself, King Ghidorah. As you can see, he also stands pretty nicely on his own. The tails, I should note, when he's in the package, they are separate. You gotta put them in individually, and weren't the easiest to get in, but, you know, not complaining too much. They're in there now. Now, as far as the details and the extras, let's see. Again, comes with a set of buildings that are destructible, come apart in a different way. Different color than the buildings that come with Rodan, but still not really detailed very much. Also comes with a vehicle, the Argo Jet, that weird stealth bomber looking thing that so many people were speculating on. And it's really tiny. I don't know if the camera's actually going to focus on it. It can't, because it's that small. But I mean, yikes, that is really tiny for a spare vehicle. But enough about those. How does Ghidorah himself fare? Well, I gotta say, detail-wise, even though the detail, as far as the sculpt goes, is really good, paint isn't quite on the same level. With Rodan, like I said, every inch of him was highlighted. You could see the red and the black differentiating everything. Here, Ghidorah's color's pretty solid all the way around. This wing's apparently very loose on this one. He's got like a little bit of a blackish airbrush to him, but it's not very much. And all 6 of his eyes, I mean, they are differentiated, but not exactly as detailed. They're smaller, they don't have pupils. So yeah, paint detail isn't necessarily as good. Articulation-wise, both of his legs move, both of his wings move, again in a weird place. But I guess with both of them, that would be hard to put a joint there and have it look good. And the different heads move in different places. These 2 heads, for some reason, have joints here, but this head has a joint midway up. I guess that's the best way they could make it work. And tails, of course, can move side to side. Interesting, the wings seem to be a bit looser on this one than on Rodan. As you've seen throughout, they've been flopping over a lot. So if I try to put them in a neutral pose like this one stays fine, that one seems to get stuck. Yeah. So not necessarily as high quality as the Rodan one, but you know, it's still quite an impressive size, all things considered, because I mean, look at how big this wingspan is. This guy really is pretty huge indeed. Just for the heck of it, I'll also do a little side-by-side comparison of everything. So these are the Ghidorah buildings and these are the Rodan buildings. As you can see, they did actually go for different sculpts in each one. They don't really go together in a way that forms a cohesive landscape, but, you know, standing individually, they're fine. And I'm bringing that up because when you had the earlier Godzilla 2014 things that came with buildings, you actually could put those together. Even though they were different colors, they still fit together in a way. So these ones do not. But, you know, like I said, still destructible. The vehicles, I mean, it's almost laughable to even try on this camera, because the Osprey definitely has more to it than the Argo ship, but I don't know, why bother wasting time on these ones? And as for the monsters themselves, I think putting them side by side really does show the contrast between them. Like I said, Ghidorah's right wing, at least on this model, kinda loose, constantly falling over. Left wing is fine, and doesn't have much in the way of paint detail. But Rodan, both wings, well, I say that and this flops over, but doesn't go too far. Both wings are solid joints, and good paint detail on him. So, you know, definitely think of the two, Rodan comes out the better of the bunch. And now the question is, will they be releasing Godzilla and Mothra in these sizes? Because they've got those in 3-inch form, and I think they basically use the same sculpts for these two there, just smaller. But will they be making Godzilla and Mothra in this size as well? That is the big question, because it depends on how these do. My statement would be, Rodan is definitely worth it. If you're a Rodan fan, or if you just like the movie and you want a figure that's not going to break the bank, oh hey, look at that. I was about to say, Rodan can balance without having to rest on his tail. He kind of can, but maybe not the most stable. Anyway, like I said, Rodan, definitely worth it. Ghidorah, maybe if you're a hardcore Ghidorah fan, but overall, they could have done a little better with him. But still, that's just where I stand on these guys. And if you have them, or if you have any thoughts about them, you're free to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until such time as we meet again, this is the Omni Viewer signing off. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, as well as subscribe to the channel for more content of a similar nature. Also, check the description for links to our Twitter, DeviantArt, and Patreon pages, as well as the Amazon link for the novel Operation Red Dragon: The Daikaiju Wars Part 1, penned by yours truly. Thank you all, and we appreciate your support.